Allow participants. Okay, now try to unmute yourself.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you sound great.
I was going to have my 9-year-old help me with this. Mary, Rose, you both did an amazing job speaking, and your stories completely inspire me. And so I am actually a first-time author. My book is called Diary of an Ape. And no, it is not about zoology, and it's not about my boss. It's actually about retail investors and going up against big Wall Street. And so the way it started is I'm currently now a CT tech at a level 1 trauma center here in Northern Virginia. But for many years, I worked as an X-ray tech at a small hospital in Virginia. And I worked during the pandemic. And it was the craziest time in my life. It was a really sad time in my life. And when the world shut down, my world didn't, because it was my job. It was my job to go and help people. And then my other job was to be a school teacher to my 2 kids. And it was really hard. But during that time, I had to find an outlet. So while my kids were virtually learning, I started learning about the stock market and Wall Street. And it fascinated me. It truly did. Oh, you can hear my little dog. Yeah, every day I would watch Bloomberg News and I would read up on the latest events, and I learned how to trade. And while I was trading, I actually did what Rose did, because my employer was awful during the pandemic. And one day I got an opportunity to step out of my comfort zone. And after 11 years, I left that job in the midst of the pandemic. And I went to work as a CT tech at a level 1 trauma center, which was even scarier than my other job. But yeah, no, I had to, I had to find the courage, because I was just a number at the other place. So there I found my new home. I found great friends and a new work family. And it's then that Wall Street Bets came about, and the Reddit phenomenon. And yeah, my new friend that I work with told me about what was going on with GameStop and AMC and going up against Wall Street. And I was like, all right, let's go. So yeah, I did my due diligence and I YOLO'd. You only live once. And it's then that I found my true passion, and I fell in love with AMC and the Reddit crowd and that community of retail investors. And it's just crazy. It's crazy because, it was a small community going up against big bad Wall Street. And I was actually the voice of encouragement, because it's funny, most people don't understand that hedge funds actually employ psychologists to mess with people so that they'll sell their stocks. And it takes a lot of patience and determination along the way. And, you know, I told people, I was like, listen, trust and believe this is going to happen. And in June, it did. It finally happened. And at one point, I made over $300,000. And I said to myself, that's not my end game. My end game is generational wealth. My end game is to be able to retire and help people. And so I held. And it's kind of like a game of up and down. And actually, as of recently, the short squeeze is happening again. If you want to learn about the short squeeze, you can read my book. But anyway, my friend Laura, you know, she said to me one day, she's like, you know, you should really write a book about this. And I didn't really think anything of it, you know, because it's scary, you know, writing a book. But one day, you know, I actually said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I sat down and I started tick away at the computer. And 3 weeks later, Diary of an Ape was born. And it's not easy. It's not easy because a lot of the stories in there, the chapters in there, I mean, it's my life, you know, it's my heart, it's my soul. And that's actually the hard part. Publishing a book, I always thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you publish a book? And to be honest, you know, I thought it cost thousands of dollars, and it really doesn't. I mean, to do self-publishing, it cost me, I think, $455. And to promote the book, I just go on TikTok with the help of my 9-year-old, and Instagram and Twitter. And I just, you know, I make these crazy little videos, and sometimes I tell my crazy stories, and I just get my voice out there. You know, it's funny because my mom just finished my book, and she, you know, she's biased, and I'm like, well, thanks, Mom. She's like, no, seriously, like, I love your book. And she's like, your dad's going to read your book on our cruise. And I'm like, oh, Dad's going to read my book. And, you know, it's just, you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable to people hearing your words, but it feels good to get it out there. And I think a lot of people should write books and tell their stories, because I mean, people are fascinating. They really are. And yeah, so I'm proud of Diary of an Ape, and I truly hope that within a month's time that I will have generational wealth. And I intend to write a sequel, because I've gotten some really great feedback from my book, and people, you know, they said that I have a great writing style. So yeah, that's basically my story. So I hate public speaking. I'm so bad at it. But if you have any questions, oh, but I do want to let you know, so people are like, well, why is it called Diary of an Ape? So retail investors, they are known as dumb money on Wall Street, because it's not your traditional way of investing. We go against the grain. And like I said, hedge funds that short these companies employ psychologists to mess with our minds. And when a stock starts to dip, most people freak out and they want to instill fear in you. And most traditional investors would be like, I'm out, and they sell. Whereas retail investors are like, we're known as, we love the dip. So when that stock goes down, we're like, we're buying more. We can't get enough. So that's how that phenomenon got brought up. But so originally Wall Street called retail investors the nastiest names. I mean, they called retail investors dumb money, autists. I mean, they even went as far as to call us like retarded. And, you know, we didn't think of ourselves like that. We were like, we can't walk around saying that. That's awful. So somebody came up with, well, let's call, you know, we're smooth brained, so let's call ourselves apes. So we're like, all right, let's do it. So now on Wall Street, for those of you that don't know, there are the bulls, there are the bears, and now there are apes. So thank you for listening to me. I appreciate your time.
Oh, that's wonderful, Casey. You're a great speaker. Don't worry about that. Just talk from your heart. Wow. Someone just said, wow, really? I mean, yeah, no, I just lost it. Somebody's talking about the kind of investing you do is real. Somebody said, cool, bulls, bees, and apes, but I'm sure they meant bears. They type like I do. All right. Rob Lohman says, I want to be an ape.
Well, you are welcome.
That's wonderful.
Now's the time. Now's the time.
Okay. So I actually got a couple of questions for you earlier, and I love it when people give me questions earlier. But and I don't understand this question. It says, will the AMC short squeeze happen? When I think of AMC, I think of American Movie Channel. So what is the AMC?
So AMC is actually the movie theater chain. So at the beginning of the pandemic, the hedge funds, which are these companies, go in and they seek out opportunities where they know that these companies are about to go bankrupt. And it is, in fact, true that AMC was about to go bankrupt. They had a lot of debt on their plate, and the pandemic shut everything down. So why not go after a movie theater company? The thing is, when you short a company like that and you short it all the way down to zero, they don't pay any capital gains on their investment. So it's a great opportunity for the hedge funds. The problem is that they didn't expect retail investors to step up and go, oh no, that's not going to happen. So we went against the grain, and we actually saved AMC from going bankrupt. During that time, Adam Aron, who was actually the CEO of AMC, they raised over $850 million in capital to sustain throughout the pandemic and on. And actually, it's funny because just recently, within the past week or so, AMC and all the other meme stocks came alive, and they're saying that now's the time, and it's actually going to happen, where they're going to go for another big run.
Okay, I do have a question here, and I'm trying to find it, but it's going too fast. Somebody, I think it was Virginia, asked a question. I think it was about how to do what you do, how to become what did you call it again? A retail?
A retail investor.
Yes.
So anybody can become a trader. You can, I mean, there's many accounts, many trading apps out there. You can Google, but there are a bunch of them out there, and you can deposit as little as $200, pick a stock that you like, and just know that particular symbol, and you can start trading.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, remember, you can find the book Diary of an Ape. And Mary said she went and just got your ebook.
Aw, thanks,
And
Mary.
so look on Amazon for it. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so